Hey everybody, what's going on? For today's review, we'll be taking you out on a test drive in the new 2011 Ford F150 Lariat Limited. This is certainly one test drive that has been backed by many a demand. The purpose of this test drive is to demonstrate the overall road manners of the F150 in both city and highway driving conditions. Throughout the test drive, we'll be describing some of the performance, towing, and other details, as well as explaining a few of the features on the interior cabin. So, bearing all of that information in mind, let's go ahead and start the engine. We'll take you for a drive. The Lariat Limited is only available in the white platinum metallic tri-coat exterior, which you see here. With two-tone silver smoke and black leather interior. Just go ahead and climb on in, set you guys up, take you on a drive. As I said, we'll be trying to get away from some of the rougher quality roads here to get on some of the smoother roads. Turn on the air-conditioned seats for a little more comfort for the driver. This new Lariat Limited for 2011 is one of the rarest F-150s that will be produced for the entire year. There will only be 3,700 units sold throughout the entire world. This one, according to the plaque here in the center console, is number 2,781 out of 3,700 trucks. All Lariat Limiteds are equipped with Ford's all-new 6.2-liter V8 engine, which develops 411 horsepower and 434 foot-pounds of torque. Unfortunately, being such a big engine, it also is rather thirsty, at an EPA estimate of 12 miles per gallon city and 16 miles per gallon highway. Even though, with that being said, this engine is capable of towing 9,800 pounds. It is by far not the most heavy duty of the F-150s, being that title belongs to the new EcoBoost V6, which can tow a massive 11,300 pounds. But still, the Lariat Limited holds its own. One thing that most people, at least that are in the market for trucks, will find about the Lariat Limited is that it's not really meant so much for work and stuff that you might expect of a normal F-150. Being the fact that it is the special edition truck with massive 22-inch painted aluminum wheels and all your navigation, dual-zone climate controls, and all the other electronic goodies you might expect in a fully loaded, say, normal Lariat, you can probably see that this is more meant for just cruising down the highway. In this part of Texas, being in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex, many cities, at least in this part of the area, are rather affluent, meaning they make quite a bit of money. So the Lariat Limited does have its ups and downs in terms of what is and what is not expected of a normal F-150. That being said, though, even though the bed is only painted, you still can carry stuff in the back bed. It's just not good in terms of off-road use and things like that. And the 22-inch wheels really don't add to the off-road ability of the vehicle. The engine that this holds, the 6.2-liter V8 engine, is available standard in only 3 F-150 variant trims. It's available in the new Harley-Davidson F150, the all-new Lariat Limited, and also the ever-popular SVT Raptor, which is more of a Baja 1000 style truck with the big wide fender flares and all of that other good stuff. This one also is four-wheel drive. To activate the four-wheel drive, you simply turn the knob here on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. You also do have things like a trailer brake. But mostly what the point of the Lariat Limited is more to be a luxurious truck rather than be an everyday workhorse like many other F-150 predecessors, and even current ones at that. Like I said in the start of this video, this truck has actually been backed by many popular demand. A lot of people like it, especially for the way it looks. Not so many people will like the fact that it's not very fuel efficient, and, well, this is just certainly one that has been the most requested out of all of the test drives of any Ford vehicle that I personally have ever had to go through. What's funny about the Lariat Limited is the fact that, in essence, it is just an F-150 Lariat, kind of with a fancy title and a few other toys and gizwizzes, and it'll only be made in a limited production of numbers. Thus, the Lariat Limited. You can kind of get the point. The transmission choice for this Lariat Limited is the 6-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission, which comes with select shift manual shifting. It also does have first and second gear for lower grade, going up grades and things like that. But even in the city, if I put it into manual mode here, shift all the way down to first using the plus and minus button on the side of the shifter, you'll notice there's a slight bit of a lag between shifting gears. But it still does get there, everyone. It still does get there quite fast. I should also point out that this center console that you see to the right of me here is not actually the new My Ford Touch system. As many people would have liked it to be that, Ford has simply fitted the previous style navigation and audio system to this vehicle. However, on the subject of the audio system, it is outfitted with a Sony stereo system that comes with a 700-watt amplifier and factory subwoofers. Well, let's just say it sounds like an aftermarket system, yet it comes bone stock on the vehicle. Let's turn it on and see what we get.
I ain't throwing carrots at you. You ain't gonna world star me. I ain't your average rapper. You drinking all the goose and bitch, I ain't finna pay. You don't look like your Twitter avatar anyway. Bitch, you look like an avatar anyway. And that's the same bitch that was stalking fam, ain't it Trey? And this is how I know you giving free head. If you was getting paid, the bottom of your shoe would be red. But it ain't. She claiming she a saint, but as soon as she see the light, she going hard in the paint. But a girlfriend the type you wanna take.
So as you can see, it does have quite a good thumping stereo system to it. Turn on the navigation just to make it look a little plain. Again, I'm terribly sorry for any shaking of the camera that may happen here and any rattling noises that you may hear. It is a bit rough, especially in this part of Texas, and this road that we're on now encircles all of Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. And at some points it is quite smooth, like the road we're on now, but in some cases the concrete can be a bit rough, and that kind of translates through the big 22-inch alloys, and it does provide for a little bit more of a rougher riding experience. However, that being said, you put it on a normal smooth road and it's perfectly content. Although obviously you wouldn't really want to be driving it around in the city, because like I said, 12 miles to the gallon in the city, not the best for your wallet or the best for your gas tank for that matter. Although on that subject, you do have the availability of a 33-gallon fuel tank. So you best open up your wallet when you pay up to the pump, because if you're not willing to fill it to about half full, if that's as far as your wallet's going to go, I have to say the Lariat Limited's not for you. Then again, most of the crowd that buys this type of vehicle, to them it's really just another truck. It's something that's stylish, that they can carry the kids around in, being that it is a super crew, and maybe, you know, carry some furniture home or something of that nature, just so, you know, they have a little practicality versus something, say, a full-size or even a mid-size car. Perfect example of this, and I don't know if you can read it from up there, is this little central multi-information display that I have in front of me, which has told me that over the course of just this short drive, we have averaged only 7 miles to the gallon. So it just goes to show that the bigger block up front doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the best fuel economy, even though that Ford claims that out of all of its, you know, that all 4 engines get the best fuel economy. And that's not so much a negative thing. In some cases, they do get the best fuel economy. For instance, with the new EcoBoost V6, which gets an impressive 22 miles to the gallon highway. And I have actually proved that myself. Having test driven an EcoBoost previous to this, I achieved a maximum MPG range, according to the display, of 24.5 miles to the gallon, which is impressive for any full-size pickup truck. Oh man, I would totally chance it, but oh, well, looks like we've got some stop traffic, so let's take a go. That was half throttle, by the way. If I was to really put my foot into it, I'll tell you what, let's find out. Get on the freeway here, find a nice piece of open road, which there is hardly a lot of in this time of day. Ah, there we go. So as you can see, it does have quite a nice throaty exhaust note coming out of the single exhaust port at the back. One thing that the 6.2, and something that I just thought of, the 6.2 liter V8 in this has actually more horsepower and more torque than its competitors from General Motors. I personally have driven the General Motors pickups equipped with the 6.2 liter V8, and that would be things like the GMC Yukon and the GMC Sierra. Mainly the Sierra is competition. The Sierra's V8 puts out 403 horsepower and around 420 foot-pounds of torque. This engine, like I said, has 411 horsepower and 434 foot-pounds of torque. So really about 10 more pound-feet of torque and about 8 or 9 more horsepower. So really, there is a little bit of an advantage that you get over the General Motors competition. Seems we have run into a small merging issue here. People trying to get over from the exit ramp just to my right and the major freeway in which I'm on now. go. Now we've got a little clear patch of road. We'll get off at the exit here. Still averaging only about 7 miles to the gallon, so like I said, not very fuel efficient in this case, but boy does it make a great sound. It certainly does pick up its skirt and go. That speedo does climb quite quickly, though we need to stay a little more legal here on city streets rather than just on the highway. On the highway is one thing, city, completely different. Just to give you an idea of how much gas we've actually wasted here, and I'm really sorry to keep banging on about, the fuel economy of this truck, but it really is a major factor here, and that is the fact that when we started this journey, the trip computer was registering 105 miles to empty. As we currently head back to our starting point, we have reached a total of 87 miles to empty and still going down. So we've dropped about 20 miles in just a very short period of time. And like I said, most people who will buy this vehicle probably will just see it as another truck. But if you're buying this truck to use it as a worker, I highly suggest you find something like a plain old Lariat or something like that. Now that's not insulting this truck. I have to say, and I'm sure you will too, this vehicle is by far the most beautiful F-150 that's ever been out on the road. And as many people say, all things have to come to a close, both good and bad. And as we arrive here back at our starting point, I thank you for coming on this test drive in the new 2011 F-150 Lariat Limited. For more information on the Lariat Limited, please do feel free to visit FordVehicles.com or do pay a visit down to your local Ford showroom. Bearing in mind that there are only 3,700 of these trucks, if you have to order one, chances are slim you might be able to find one unless your dealer has to dealer trade. But for more reports, reviews, and test drives, please come to Grand Prix GTPO's 202's channel and keep continuing to subscribe and watch. Until next time, folks, have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.